A very good morning. I wish to Madam Nazira and my fellow friends. We're from Group 4 Prison or Storyboard, which is based on George Orwell's 1945 book Animal Farm, which was released in England on that date. In a nutshell, this book relates the tale of a band of farm animals who rebel against their human farmer in an effort to establish an animal-friendly society. So that you may learn more about this book, we will detail a few of characters. Then, the scenes from the novel Animal Farm will be revealed. In addition, we will discuss the ideas and moral values that are present in this book. Finally, we will explain about book recommendations and criticism. I convey my best wishes to Madam Nazira and my dear friends. I, Snitana George, with metric number BB21110172, shall talk about The People in Animal Farm by George Orwell. There are numerous characters in this novel who can be classified as either humans or animals. The human characters in this book include Mr. Jones, Mr. Frederick, and Mr. Pilkington. The animal figures on the other side are Snowball, Old Major, Napoleon, Squealer, Benjamin, and Clover. Mr. Jones was the original proprietor of Manor Farm. He is a reckless, careless, incompetent, casually aggressive, and arrogant guy. After Mr. Jones neglects to feed them and tries to beat them when they break into the grain storage facilities due to his carelessness and cruelty, the animal finally rebel. Mr. Jones makes numerous attempts to regain Animal Farm, but he is unable, and the other farmers don't feel sorry for him. Mr. Frederick, the owner of the property next to Pinchfield, is another character in this book. He is vicious, cunning, and brutal, and there are allegations that he is particularly cruel to the farm animals. On the other side, Mr. Pilkington, the gentleman farmer who runs Foxwood, one of the Animal Farm's neighbors, is a different kind of character. Hunting and other leisure pursuits take up more of his time than farming does. Referring our discussion to animal characters, Snowball is a lively and intelligent pig. He generates fresh concepts and shows concern for the working animals. His goals are to promote education and improve working conditions on the farm. In addition, Old Major is a revered old pig who collects the animals to discuss what is wrong with their environment at the opening of the book. As people profit from what animals create without doing anything themselves, and specifically in the case of Mr. Jones, humans that are cruel, heartless, and exploit those underneath them, he contends that humanity is their only real enemy. Second animal's character is Napoleon. Napoleon was a very commanding-looking hawk who did not say much but was renowned for getting his way. He plays the role of controlling the farm by intimidation, physical force, and finally public killings. Not only that, but he is also one of the pigs who gain authority and influence on the farm over time, eventually rising to the position of undisputed leader in Animal Farm. Other than that, Squealer, Napoleon's right-throated minister of propaganda, is a little, white, and obese porker. Additionally, Benjamin is a donkey, one of the oldest and most aggressive animals. He is one of the farm's wisest animals, though, and one of the few who can read correctly. Last but not least, Clover is a kind, maternal, and strong cavalry. She backs the revolution because she naturally defends those who are weaker than her and because she sees the Seven Commandments as embodying the same sense of community.
Hello everyone, I'm Nora Binti Santri with metric number PP21110244, and today I will present my part, which is the plot summary. What's the summary about? This story is divided into 6 plots, which are exposition, conflicts, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. In exposition, the story starts with the Old Major summons the animals to a conference on the Manor Farm, where he insists a revolution. Despite his pacing, two pigs, Napoleon and Snowball, swear to carry on with his task and help the other drive off the unfit, inebriated farmer. Beginning with the farm's pig, a new government with right for animals is being established. The next plot is conflict, which tells about animals start learning to read, write, and hold belief. Animals start learning to read and write. All of the kids are educated. Using the commandments, the farm is well run and there is enough of food. However, a power struggle starts when the pig promote themselves to position of leadership. Napoleon triumphs by sending his dogs after a snowball that has escaped the farm. Then, moving on to Rising Action, which tell about Napoleon establishes a committee of pigs to rule the farm in place of meeting. Of all the animals has the farm ultimate head. Napoleon eventually becomes convinced that someone is trying to overthrow him due to his dominance. The climax of this story shows about Napoleon start to put the responsibility for mishap on the farm on Snowball, the pig he drove away. Napoleon start to purge the farm using Snowball as a scapegoat, accusing the other animals of cooperating with his old enemy and assaulting them with dogs. In the following action plot, it tells about the animal come to believe that the farmer Mr. John was a better option for them than the dictatorship that has taken over. On the farm, things get worse and worse. It is obvious that the commandments have been changed because animals are overworked to the point of collapse. Lastly, the plot ends with resolution that tell no longer are animal equal. The pigs are starting to exhibit human traits such as walking upright. Animals observe pig and people are released. They can no longer distinguish between the two.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahid Analia Alak and my metric number is PP2110122. Today I will discuss the theme in George Orwell's story Animal Farm. The book Animal Farm has three basic themes. The first theme is corruption. The book Animal Farm serves as an example of how corrupt the government is. The novella uses a lot of foreshadowing, especially in the first chapter, which gives the impression that the plot's events can be avoided. The novella strongly implies that not only was Napoleon's ascent to power inevitable, but that any other potential leader would have been exactly as horrible as Napoleon. Snowball would have been just a corrupt ruler, despite the fact that Napoleon is more zealous for power than Snowball. Prior to being expelled, Snowball spotted the big theft of milk and apples, and it was his idea to build the disastrous windmill. Exploitation is the second theme. The second theme is focused on Animal Farm is both a metaphor for how people abuse and oppress one another and a more direct statement on how people treat animals. The animal sweep off the remaining remains of John's loaded range, which, despite the rebellion's primarily comedic tone, concludes on a somber and moving note. The brutal knife that Mr. John had used to castrate the pigs and lambs were thrown down the well, along with the beads, nut rings, dog chains, and the harness room at the end of the stables. The last theme is deception. This is true because Napoleon and the other pigs concocted intricate tales to conceal their deeds in order to preserve their dominance over the other animals. Squealer employs misinformation to make animals believe they are doing well when in reality, as the months and years go by, their lives are getting worse. The pigs deceive the animals into believing that their own memories are tainted by secretly altering the 10 Commandments and other rebellious resolutions. Snowball being made the culprit for all mischief hides the truth that someone else is really at fault. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Teo Jae and my metric number is BA2111013. Today, I would like to discuss the moral values in this story. The first moral value is that power can include contractibility. Power is authority and strength, which is any form of motive, force, or energy, ability to act or control. When too much power is given, a dictatorship government can form, in which all decisions are made by one authority. Maybe the leaders, Napoleon, the pigs, and Snowball, are well-meaning at first, but once they realize that all the animals are listening to them without thinking, they start abusing their power. The boxer, the cart horse, began to say, Napoleon was always right. However, contraction does not happen automatically, but gradually. The two pigs took advantage of their position early on, but it took a long time before Napoleon began to dress in human's clothes and walk on 2 feet. The second moral value in this story is we should be self-aware and not be ignorant, as it can probably be exploited. Ignorance is easily corrected. This leads to people being lied to all the time and being manipulated. The boxer is unwilling to express doubt, confusion among the many possible actions for the outcome of what has happened, preferring not to see, repeating the praise, Napoleon was always right all the time. In addition, since pigs have the upper hand, they can control other animals without any problem. The last value is respecting and treating people and animals equally. An equal treatment and the assistance of class can make people resentful. It is also a testament of a feudal leader. In the story, the Trial Napoleon had all the power after Snowball was chased out of Animal Farm. He was not a good leader. He did not treat the animals with respect and did not treat everyone equally. He put himself in the highest position, and then he put the pigs after him and the rest of animals and the end. The pigs were treated with higher quality than the rest of the animals, which was not fair to them. This proved that Napoleon was not an exemplary leader, and this led to deserted at the end of the story.
Hello everyone, my name is Nona Shabintia Manisha, my metric number BP2110399. So I'm going to talk about criticism for this novel. So the first one is the Animal Farm having a trouble in finding a publisher, and finally they have been appeared in August 1945. So the second critics is George Orwell's novel has been accused by detractors as communist propaganda and a seditious call to overthrow organized states. So for many same reason, Animal Farm remained a contentious task throughout the Cold War. Okay, so moving to the next criticism. Okay, in Animal Farm, they represent in a different class. Within a working class, different. So in Animal Farm, the animals represent the working class, and each of species are represent to a different social category within the working class. The animals represent to the workers, and the humans represent the bourgeoisie, and the books display class struggle in terms of animals versus human. The last one is when the animal's its desires for freedom and equality is corrupted by the consolidation of political powers amongst the. So the last part is books review. So from my opinion, I would say the book is recommended and everyone should read this book, is because Animal Farm is an engaging, eye-opening book that highlights the issue about the betrayal and greed, and last one is inequality in human society. I think the lesson from this book and to the why and what should leaders do, I learned from this. Second reason why we have to read this book is the only good human being is a dead one. Even we are not history buff and not acquainted by history event, but Animal Farm has shown us the history. The Animal Farm by George Orwell itself shows us the humankind on this planet, history repeating itself, and why people driven by issues. The people driven by money and profit. Somehow we as human, we can lose anytime, and it's okay to take time for analyze the situation and come back to the reality. Okay. So for the conclusion, Animal Farm by George Orwell is a novel that really completely shocked me. This is because the novel keep on me and accompany me for the rest of my life, and I could say, because for what I said before, the book is really recommended, and I think I will continue to read and look forward to picking up to read again. So I think the books are really good to read and really recommended for all of us, because of the lesson that we got and the history that we can look look up, and that's all. Alright, so thank you for listening to me and my team. So that's all from me. Thank you.